Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back. I am happy to be back with you guys officially moving forward. So much has happened, but I just want to say thank you for rocking with me and sticking with me throughout my journey of spiritual enlightenment. I'm still on that journey, but I feel like I had enough time to rest to come back and do my videos as usual. So if you haven't already noticed, my platform is now Study with Akona. This platform is dedicated to all of my OTA students to help you pass your NBCOT exam finally. So I am excited, and we are just going to jump right into the topic, and I'm going to give you guys 3 key things that you need in order to be successful with this exam. So the first thing you're going to need is preparation. All right. Preparation. I feel like this is often overlooked, and people just say, okay, I just need to study for the exam. They pull out their books, they pull out highlighters, and they get to it. But you don't want to do it that way. You want to prepare and prepare correctly. Okay. So you want to first think about, what is your study schedule going to look like? Are you going to study in the morning? Are you going to study in the afternoon? Are you going to study in the evening? How many hours are you going to study? Are you going to study 3 hours, which is like the minimum I would suggest? Are you going to study up to 5 hours a day? Okay. I don't feel like you need to go over 5 hours. I think 5 hours is plenty. I feel like your sweet spot is probably like 4 hours a day. And then you need to ask yourself, where are you studying? Are you studying in your room? Are you studying at home? Are you studying in the library? Do you have a designated space that is meant for you to study undistracted, right? So you don't want to say, and be all over the place. And one day you're studying in your room, but then the phone is ringing, or people coming into the room, and maybe your kids are bothering you. Like, you want to have proper preparation. Okay. And another part of that is you want to ask yourself, how are you as a study? What's your study preference? Do you like to study by yourself? Do you like study groups? Do you like to have a partner? Okay. Ask yourself these questions. I know for me, I like to study by myself. And what really like allowed me to own it and realize like I like to study by myself is when I was going for my OTA exam. I decided to have a study buddy. And that first interaction with my study buddy was the last. And I said it was with all love, like she's a great person. But I realized that the way we were studying was completely different. So I showed up, and she had all her notes laid out, and she was like just trying to memorize everything. And for me, that was chaos because I'm a very organized person, and I could not just have everything laid out. I needed a plan. Okay. So I realized that it just wouldn't, our relationship studying together just wouldn't work out. And it was totally fine. Um, and you need to decide that for yourself. What is your study preference, right? If you like to study by yourself and you prefer to study by yourself, most people do, that's ideal and that's what you go with. But if you feel like you gain more when you're studying with a group of people, then establish expectation, establish how you study, and you want to make sure that you're studying with the people that study like you. That's going to help benefit you. Not to say that everybody has to have the exact same thing, but you want to have some similarities, okay? And you can always benefit from somebody else that studies a little different, but you don't want to be so far off. So for example, like with me and my person, she was all about memorization, and I was all about getting down the basic concepts. So we had 2 different styles. Even though there is certain parts of the exam you do want to memorize, she was trying to memorize everything and a whole bunch of notes with definitions, and I just could not do it. So be wise about that. And then lastly, for your preparation, you want to have a plan. Okay, how are you breaking down the information? How are you going to study the information? Okay, if you're kind of like all over the place, you don't really have a plan. One day you're looking at mental health information, the next day you're taking quizzes, then the next day you're reading. You don't want to do that because you're going to overwhelm yourself. You're not going to properly retain, and then you're not going to be able to check your progress and review how you're progressing because you're all over the place. All right. So the first thing you need is to be prepared. All right. So the second thing you need is to have a strategy. Okay. You need to have a strategy. If you don't have a strategy, you're, like I said before, you're going to be all over the place. All right. So you need to have a strategy on how you study and a strategy on how you answer the questions. You need to know what are your study materials you're going to use. You don't want to have 4 or 5 different study materials. You want to have at least 2. So you want to have something to guide your studying, and then you want to have something for questions. So in my course, Study with Dakota, the whole course is broken down into a total of 9 weeks. So week 1 is all of the information you need pertaining to how to answer NBCOT questions, how to answer Domain 2 intervention questions, study tips, how to overcome testing anxiety, and it just keeps going on and on from there for week 1. And then after that, for the remaining weeks, you have material and information for each day. So from Monday through Saturday, there's information and assignments for you to focus on. Sunday is your rest break. So you see, I have a organized structure and system to make sure that everything that was laid out in the CODA outline for 2022, which came into effect for 2024, which is the most updated information for the exam. I based everything on that, and I laid it out to try to cover everything. Now, obviously, there's no way you could cover everything that you learn in 2 years, but you want to make sure that you have a basic understanding and a general understanding of everything. And then there is going to be some parts that you need to memorize. But if you don't have a strategy on how to answer questions, in my course, I use mnemonic, there's acronyms. If you don't have these things in place, then you might actually struggle. So it's really good to figure out what your strategy is going to be. If you're not in my course, the best tip I can give you is focus on your weak areas first. So if you know you're weak in pediatrics, focus on studying that first, right? Dive into that and then continue on down. You want to be able to master your test taking skills. So if you know that you're struggling with test taking, you want to really own in on how can I improve my test taking skills? Is it my comprehension? Is it my recall? So those are the things you want to start asking yourself as you are taking practice exams or practice tests. Okay. And then the last thing that you need to be able to pass this exam is you need confidence, right? And I tell my students I tell them this every time. I said, listen, you went to school. You passed all your tests, every exam that was given to you, right? And then you went to your clinicals and you was able to get through clinicals. You passed clinicals and then you were able to graduate. There's no reason that you cannot pass this exam. It is a passable exam, and we need to stop thinking that this exam is too hard, unfair. You can do it, but you have to build up the confidence. And what can help you build up the confidence is 1, being prepared, and 2, having a strategy. And that's exactly what I lay out in Study with Dakota course. If you want to know more about my course, just go to the description below and you can go ahead and read all about it. You can see all the testimonials as well as what people are saying that's currently in the course right now. So I hope that this video was helpful. Definitely take these 3 things into consideration: getting prepared, having a strategy, which is going to build on your confidence. Tell yourself, be kind to yourself. First of all, speak positive to yourself. Don't call yourself, saying, I'm not a good learner. I, this is too hard for me. I just keep failing. I can't pass. Like, just run away from those thoughts and replace them with more positive thoughts. And I guarantee you will see a change. So I hope that this video was helpful. Be sure to like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. And also, I am now on Instagram for Study with Dakota. So if you want to check me out on Instagram, just go ahead and you'll find me at Study with Dakota. All right, guys, until next time, bye-bye.